Welcome to Interro Bites. These are 15-minute videos taken from my long-form live streams. If you want to see the full video or more, subscribe to Dacquisto and check out the playlists on my main page. Thanks for being here. Enjoy.
I mean, there's all kinds just to give you some context that may be helpful. Last summer, when they were trying to figure out how to manipulate this divorce or work the divorce, I guess, so they could get, it's a bad fight, all this kind of stuff. They were talking about Wendi converting the kids to Christianity just to annoy Danny. I mean, this has been a pitched battle, we fed the kids bacon regularly. He tries to keep them kosher. There's all kinds of passive aggressive shit going on here, So the family is it's important that you know this, actually, man. The family is so unhealthily enmeshed, so completely enmeshed, that Wendi is not really an adult. When she drives to South Florida, every single time those two parents drive up here and drive with her down. They don't trust her to drive from Tallahassee to Miami. They're just, it's not a normal family. It's not like she's a 35-year-old woman that has two kids and come down to see us. It's complete enmeshment. It's a matter of they've infantilized her. She's considered the baby still. She's 35 years old. Charlie protects her.
And he uses the term infantilizing with Wendi, that the family infantilizes her. Again, this is somebody who's been around the family and was in a position to know. And he's, of course, using professional terminology, which is why we had that little resume up there with Mentour Lawyer put that in. And by the way, just take note, it's not Jeffrey saying, well, I'm an expert on this and I'm an expert on this. He's just telling it like it is from his perspective.
So just, I don't know if this could be our fantasy. I mean, you guys are hearing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I hope to God it wasn't Charlie, honestly, but that's what popped into my head. So.
Right. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
You're okay.
I got stuff happening.
I just spit it all out. So
Did you really? Okay. All right. Thank you. Who did it?
He's thinking, her brother Charlie could be a viable suspect. I mean, I don't know if we ruled him out or not.
Nobody's ruled out.
I don't think Charlie would have done it, by the way. But he's one of these. He's a real rich guy, but he's got friends on both sides of the tracks, and he's real street smart. He's always trading and stuff like that, and got this buddy that's in the special forces, and so he's like a dentist, but he's hanging out with guys that different social class actually, and kind of antisocial, impulsive, angry, fiercely protective of Wendi. And I've heard him say, I'd like to kill that motherfucker. I mean, I've heard him say that so many times. Now, I've said that out loud too, and I didn't do it, but there's something different about Charlie. He reminds me of like an antisocial.
Charlie's an older brother?
Yeah.
She's the baby girl?
She's the baby girl.
Is Charlie older or younger than this one up in Albany?
She's just a baby.
He's the middle kid, I think.
Charlie is?
Yeah. If you had him in front of you, he'd set off your alarm bells.
Okay.
Doesn't mean he did it, but.
No, I know that, but why? Okay, all right. So you're basically saying out of, what's his name up in Albany?
Yeah, Rob, no way.
He's the oldest?
Yeah, he's the oldest, yeah.
Out of Charlie, mom, dad, who else is there?
It's just Charlie, mom, dad. That down there, that's
okay.
it. That's it.
All right, out of those three, you're saying Charlie would be the most volatile to do something? What would he do?
He'd get his buddy in the special forces to do this, or he'd get some seedy guys down in the Cuban neighborhood or something like that. That's what he would do. Something like that.
He wasn't far off, was he? He'd get some, either the special forces guy or some seedy guys down in another neighborhood. And that's not far away from what actually is alleged to have happened.
Yeah. I mean, the main thing I told him was that Wendi had told me that he had looked into how much it would cost last summer.
Wendi told you that?
She did.
That Charlie had looked into how much it would cost. So.
She said it in a dead serious, chilling, uncomfortable kind of way. Not like I joke around. I like to kill Dan Markel. I'm sick of this shit. That's different. This was like, she said confidentially.
Okay, she just, you and her one-on-one?
101 late at night, and
What'd you suppose that last?
it was late. It was late at night, and she told me that. So, it was last summer when her petition to relocate was about to be denied.
Oh, because she wanted to take the kids out?
Well, they want her down there so bad. The family's so enmeshed, so tight, so unhealthy. She's like the baby. So, if you met Charlie, he's an unusual guy.
Okay,
No.
so if you, just so I understand, and I don't misinterpret,
Yeah.
what exactly, how did she say it and what did she exactly say?
Yeah, and I want to from memory, but something like I said. We're also talking about us, because I was like, would you ever leave under any circumstances? Yeah, I know you don't love it here. Am I going to be dating you for 2 years and you just move? She's like, I can't because of Danny. And she said, yeah, as a matter of something about it would be convenient if Danny wasn't around anymore, but what's usually what needed to happen to him or something like that. She said, but Charlie actually looked into like how that would be done and how much it would cost. She might have said, I think, Charlie. I don't remember, but it was chilling. In the moment, I was like, my stomach flipped. I was like, whoa.
The crux of the statement is my brother Charlie has looked into how much it would cost to
take care of somebody. Yeah.
take care of somebody.
This guy has very little empathy. He's just a weird guy.
Okay.
I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying, if you're looking at somebody, you can't miss Charlie.
Okay.
I think that's more likely than a romantic thing.
Well, that's you.
Yeah, it's not me.
The other guy's gone. Zach, wherever
He's gone.
He's gone to.
And by the way, make sure that she saw Zach once a week for 20 minutes of sex. I don't know the relationship. I don't think he gives a shit about Wendy, so I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry. Size. Yeah. Wait. I don't have time for her. I said, great. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
Before I forget, the other thing is that I didn't know about Zach for 9 months, and I was with boyfriend for 6. So I was telling him, I've always suspected there's a guy in South Florida I would know about. I mean, that's just a paranoid boyfriend. I wouldn't believe Wendy when she said, I'm with Jeff. You got to start the ground at zero. She lies. I mean, there's been a lot of men since September. Over me.
So Jeffrey is saying here that Wendy has had a lot of boyfriends and that she lies. As far as not having an attorney the only reason I even bring that up is because I've just had it drilled into my head. It doesn't matter what it is. You would always want to have an attorney present or get advice from attorney. I get advice from attorneys all the time, not necessarily involved in any kind of legal action. So I'm not sure why that would be such a problem for some people, but that's just where we all come from, different places. And yes, he probably wouldn't have, I'm just guessing he would have had enough friends even at the university to talk it over. And probably they just said, hey, just go tell him the truth if you're innocent. But usually you would want an attorney present, particularly if you're innocent. Things happen.
So I just wonder if there's a guy in South Florida. She always drops out of sight when she's down there. Phone calls not returned. Voicemail.
Did you go down there?
No, she doesn't let me go. That's why I think there's a guy down there.
Okay. Did Charlie come up here?
Charlie never comes up here.
Okay, how did you meet Charlie then?
Oh, I went to Charlie. I met Charlie one time. I went down there one time for one day. We
Okay.
were in Immokalee. We just drove over and spent an evening with them. So I spent 4 hours with Charlie.
What are you doing in Immokalee? I know where that is.
Yeah, alternative spring break for FSU kids.
Okay.
So we're helping out the farm workers and stuff.
Okay.
So we spent a night in a hot tub with Charlie, and that was it. But I've always told him, I always suspected that I'm the paranoid ex-boyfriend, so right. But she goes to South Florida awful lot.
Okay.
She's always a little weird when she comes back, romantically and stuff like that. So I just always kind of suspected. So I wouldn't. Obviously, the connection is now she can go to South Florida.
Right.
I mean,
Boom. there you go. Another Jeffrey gem. Obviously, the speculation is now she can go back to South Florida. There you have it, as he's saying.
We see that part.
Yeah.
Who's this Green Beret? Did you say?
And that I don't know anything about this guy. I just know that on Facebook there's a lot of pictures of him, and Wendy's told me stories about him. He's, I guess the point is that Charlie doesn't just hang out with other dentists. He hangs out with all kinds of people. So it's not like he's some snobby dentist that's not gonna hang out with this guy. Did 5 years in Afghanistan, so it just popped into my head. Like,
Charlie did?
No, Charlie's friend did.
Was Charlie in the military?
Nah, he's a dentist. So,
Okay.
but when Charlie talks, he talks about cross section of people. I mean, he has friends all across the spectrum, including, some unsavory characters.
Let's go back to the statement that she made. I just want to clarify the stuff. She tells you, she goes, yeah, my brother, I think the phone was going off there. My brother has checked, or my brother has something along those lines, has inquired as to how much it would cost.
Something like that. I can't give you an exact quote. It might have been, I think Charlie, here's an example. She might have said, I think Charlie might have looked into how much it cost to actually have that done. He's down there in Miami, it's not unheard of. Something like that.
All right.
It just had crossed Charlie's mind. Bottom line, it occurred to Charlie that was one way to take care of the problem.
And he wants to help sis?
He is fiercely protective of her. He wants her back in South Florida so bad. No family does. She never, you guys know the background. She never wanted to be here, ever. I mean, she came here with Markel. They're supposed to be here a year and then move on. He had a job at Miami. He was an asshole, so he lost it. He said, no, go back to FSU and stay there. They're stuck here. So he's doing great. He's the Sandy Dunbar professor of law and all that stuff. When he gets a shitty job that she doesn't really like,
So I should have paused a little bit sooner. Here's where Jeffrey really just lays everything out the way we know it, really, even from the state at this point. And he does this only a couple of days after Dan's death. I think this is the same day of the memorial. I'm not sure. The 21st. That would have been, this would have been Monday. So the memorial has already happened. That means Wendi would have been gone already. So he really does lay everything out very quickly. Obviously not corroborated, but the theory of the case as it stands right now, he has it because he has intimate knowledge. And he's obviously, his body language is that he's pretty truthful. Of course, he has his way of expressing himself with his hands and all those things, but I do too. That doesn't mean he's lying in any way.
Like the area. She's doing her best to make it work. She hates it. Never wanted to live here. Never thought she'd live here.
This is all from her, right?
Yeah, it's all straight from her. You kidding me? I'm her boyfriend trying to convince her this is a great place to stay. Get a new attitude. This is a daily conversation. I'm like, I love Tallahassee. Moved here on purpose. So it's a daily conversation. Like, look, it was pretty. That kind of stuff,
And her whole thing is, no, I still don't
She
like
goes,
it.
I'm trying, but it's, I didn't choose it.
Okay.
I didn't choose it, and that makes it hard. I heard that daily.
I didn't choose it, and that makes it hard. Okay.
And she loves Miami. She just loves it. When we're down there, she just lights up. It's a whole different thing.
Is it Miami or Fort Lauderdale?
It's Coral Springs, but it's Miami.
Okay.
It's Miami. Yeah.
So a daily thing is you're trying to tell her how great this area is and so forth, and she's basically putting it down, and that, I'm stuck here. My husband didn't want it or couldn't keep the job at UM.
He
Was
screwed
it
up.
UM or Nova?
It was UM. Yeah.
And he screwed that up.
Yeah. He was so abrasive. I'm sure you read a lot about that. He was so abrasive that you're a great scholar. We don't want to put up with your butt every day, so get out of here.
Okay, so here's Jeffrey saying I'm not sure if he knows this because he's a professor or if it's because of what Wendi said, but that Dan was so abrasive that they didn't want him in Miami, and so they got stuck in Tallahassee. So that's an interesting take. What do you think? Do you think, we know from other accounts, even people that really love Dan, that, he had a certain way about him. We'd like to argue. he thought it was interesting, and that's how he was as a person. And I guess it's an acquired taste in a way. So what do you think about that? This is early on, of course. So Jeffrey would have had formed his opinion, of course, working at the university, although they weren't close. They did have some of the same friends. And then, of course, from Wendi and her family. What do you think?